college wrestling is a fraternity. It's a brotherhood. And we're going to visit with three very recent NC State wrestling graduates. All three of these guys, as a senior class, they helped the Wolfpack win the 2019 ACC Championship. And right after that, they went right into those college coaching ranks. And all three were on the Division I level coaching. So we're going to go around the room and introduce everybody, see where they're at. First up, Kentucky Gambler, career 125-pounder, Sean Fausz. Sean, where are you coming from today?
I'm coming from the beautiful county of SLO, San Luis Obispo, California.
Our fans are going to be mad at me if I don't ask you very first question. What weight are you at today?
I'm probably 55. I haven't stepped on the scale in a while.
Okay. You missed the 125 days?
Do not.
Going up north, he was a transfer for us last year. Loves the cold winter weathers, apparently. Justin Oliver, where are you calling from today?
Calling in from beautiful Buffalo, New York, the home of also Kellen Devlin. So,
2020 graduate. We just put that out today about Kellen. Maybe he's looking for a job. Maybe you can help him out.
Yeah, we'll see.
Third guy, North Carolina native, recent ACC champion, Malik McDonald. Malik, where are you today?
My room in Clarion, Pennsylvania.
We're going to talk about college coaching. All you guys really stepped into this world, and sure, it's a lot different than when you were athletes, and kind of going around the room. Well, I want to hear where you guys are coaching at and any backstory to how you got into the coaching ranks. So maybe Justin, maybe we can start with you.
So ironically, actually, it'll be perfect because Donnie was the one that kind of helped set this up, but not at all set it up. So when I started looking for coaching jobs, he asked if I had applied, or he had heard that I applied for the job at Buffalo, in which I didn't know there was a job opening at Buffalo in general. So I emailed Coach Stutzman, and it turned out there wasn't a coaching job available at Buffalo. But then about a month later, I got a call from Coach Stutzman, and there was a new job opening. So it kind of, in a roundabout way, worked itself out pretty well there.
Okay, sounds good. Malik, where were you this past year, and any good story of how you got up there?
First I was originally working at another job in recruiting, technical recruiting. And it got to the point where I was like, this isn't something I want to do for the rest of my life or the next 5 years at least. And I texted Pat and Frank, and they both got me in contact with Clarion University.
And Sean, you've had the furthest trip, Kentucky, Raleigh. Where are you now, and how did you get out there?
I'm currently at Cal Poly. So I was working as a cell phone tower climber. I was having fun with that, but then I got a text from Pat, who the head coach here, hit him up and asked if I was interested. I took the bait and took a trip out here, and I really wanted to get back into wrestling, so I took the job.
All right, so a lot of different backstories. Sounds like NC State connections really helped, but I kind of wanted to start off senior year. You guys went out ACC champions. Malik, you were an individual ACC champion. How important was it for you to win that title in your last year here in college?
It was one of the things I wanted to accomplish while I was in college, and I don't know, it just gives you a peace of mind to reach a goal that you strive for.
Sean, 4-year starter, you got it done your final year as the team. Talk about that accomplishment.
It's always great to win stuff as a team. We won it my freshman year, and then kind of got snubbed my next 2 years. So that hurt. So it was nice ending in the career on a positive, on a up.
And Justin, you were only here for a season, but that season you got the ACC Championship. I assume the transfer paid off. So how did you feel accomplishing and helping this team win that title?
Yeah, no, it was awesome to just kind of be a part of that, be a part of the team here, and actually be able to accomplish that. Obviously at Central, previous years definitely did not win a MAC championship. So being able to come into NC State and kind of help win that ACC title is pretty awesome.
And kind of want to see, you guys were student athletes, 5 years in wrestling. That's a long time to college coaching. How was the first year on the job? Kind of what was the biggest difference for you, Sean?
Biggest difference, just kind of being more vocal. I feel like I tried to lead with example, being as an athlete. So as a coach, I kind of got to be a little more vocal and talk to the guys a little more.
Malik, I know you were very vocal all the time, so you love to do interviews. What was the hardest adjustment for yourself?
The hardest adjustment, yeah, probably the same thing, just being more vocal. I mean, I feel like I connect well with the guys on personal levels, but when it's like group efforts, then yeah, that can be a little task in itself.
Justin, you too. I probably got the three quietest guys to do this interview. So what was your biggest challenge to becoming an assistant coach here?
Yeah, definitely partly just being more vocal, and then also adding recruiting to everything else, I think was definitely a bit of an adjustment, just having to really go out and reach out to these kids and try to sell them on Buffalo.
We interrupt this interview to bring you a very special announcement from the Pack Mentality Pop-Ins podcast. Now in its third season covering the Wolfpack wrestling team, the Pack Mentality Pop-Ins podcast has featured such guests as world medalists, NCAA champions, MMA world champions, and a pair of WWE Hall of Famers, in addition to current and past members of the NC State wrestling staff and team. It was the very first podcast hosted by a school devoted to college wrestling, and it was also the very first podcast produced by NC State Athletics. If you are an NC State wrestling fan, we encourage you to subscribe and download to the Pack Mentality Pop-Ins podcast to catch great interviews and get the behind-the-scenes information on the Wolfpack wrestling team. Just search hashtag Pack Mentality on your favorite podcasting platform.
Sean, is there something you took away from your NC State days or working with our coaching staff that you've been able to utilize in your first season?
Yeah, just realizing how our coaches coach, you pick up on those things, and they're some of the best in the business. So great role models for us to model after.
I know, Justin, a little bit different. You haven't had 5 years of relationships with our staff down here, but how did Pat and Donnie and Adam, just everybody involved, help you?
Just the individualization efforts that they put in to kind of essentially not force you into one specific way of wrestling, but trying to fit pieces into the specific style of the individual, I think has been something that I took a lot from them as far as the way that I go about coaching the guys here at Buffalo.
And Malik, I know your career, it really took off here in the last couple of years. How did that kind of transition for you, and how did our staff help yourself?
Just focusing on the guys that might not be starting their first year here or initially, but try to give everybody like the same amount of attention that you can, as much as possible at least.
Quick little round table. I want to know best part of coaching. Anybody can answer.
Eating.
Seeing people accomplish what they set out to do.
It's a lot of fun kind of being able to teach some of the stuff that obviously has been taught to me throughout the years. It's pretty rewarding when you go over something with one of the guys and it actually clicks in the match and you see them hit it and they like actually do well.
Are all three of us still going in the practice room every single practice?
Yeah.
We're young guys.
That's why they want the young coaches out there, so you guys can get around.
It's fun though, because I'm sure, especially for Sean, he doesn't have to be down to like 130, 125. He can be fat, happy, and just beating kids up.
I probably wrestle more as a coach than I did as an athlete.
Guys, it was great catching up. I really appreciate your time. Wolfpack wrestling fans are nuts. They're going to be following your careers no matter where you guys are at. Luckily, you're not at another ACC school yet, so we can still be fans. So just want to thank all you guys for taking the time.
Appreciate you having me.
Thanks, Brian.